All right, let's go ahead and open up with a prayer. Now, Mikhail, can you? What is it? It's Rosh Chodesh. Which one? Third.
Heavenly Father Yahweh, most holy and true covenant Elohim, every Mishak Yaakov. Give you thanks and praise, Father Yahweh, for allowing us to come together, Father, to make it together, Father, to worship you, Father Yahweh. On your Rosh Chodesh, Father Yahweh. This is your third Rosh Chodesh, Father Yahweh. We give you thanks and praise, Father. These are the days, Father, you allow us to keep, Father, so we can know where we are in the year, Father Yahweh. So we know when your holy days come, Father Yahweh. So we give you thanks and praise, Father, for letting us continue to keep class on your days, Father Yahweh. Father Yahweh, we ask, Father, to continue to keep our hearts malleable and soft, Father Yahweh. So we may be able to do your word, Father, not just hear your word, Father Yahweh. And we ask for your mighty mercy to continue with the story, Father Yahweh, because we need you, Father Yahweh. We pray for your magic, your magical hedge around us, your holy hedge around us, Father Yahweh, because we need your hedge of protection, Father Yahweh, every day, Father Yahweh. We ask, Father Yahweh, to allow us to stay inside your hedge, Father, when we feel that we're making the mistakes, Father Yahweh, let us know, Father Yahweh, just so we don't step outside that hedge, Father Yahweh. When we step outside the hedge, Father, we ask to coast us back in, Father Yahweh. We pray, Father Yahweh, because we give you thanks and praise, Father Yahweh, because we need you so much, Father Yahweh. Heavenly Father, we ask to touch our minds, Father, to see you, Father Yahweh. Let your word become alive in our minds and our hearts, Father Yahweh. To see your word living, Father Yahweh, not just reading your word, Father, to see it active, Father Yahweh. And we give you thanks and praise. We need that thing going in our life, Father Yahweh. And we ask that this word go out to the four corners of the world, Father, to touch who you made, Father Yahweh. And I pray, Father Yahweh, that they obey you, Father, in Yeshua's mighty name. Help us, Father Yahweh, to see your word and obey your word, Father Yahweh. So we appease you, Father, and give you glory in Yeshua's mighty name. To let us walk in your life, Father Yahweh. Praise you, Father, in Yeshua's holy and mighty name. Amen.
Amen. Yeah, sure.
Oh, yeah, now you're so crazy. You're just so crazy.
I'm sorry. So I look like a little 5-year-old girl. Okay.
I didn't mean it like that.
I need to grow some more facial hair. I don't have enough. All right, we're going to get started, y'all. Kylie, get them so we can get started. All right, shalom. My name is Yedan Yasharah, and I'm with my brother Yanti Yasharah. Shalom. And we are in our Rosh Chodesh 3, which is the third new month. The Hebrew calendar does not coincide equally with the Babylonian Gregorian calendar. It goes differently because you see how they start theirs in January. The year doesn't start in the dead of the winter. It starts when things grow. That's why it's called spring, because the day is springing forward, is growing. So We've done our classes which show you how to calculate the beginning. We are in the third month, which would be the last month of the season, so it'll be 31 days. So we are commanded to gather on specific days, Yah's appointed times, his Moadim. So the beginning of the month, the first day of the month is called Rosh Chodesh, or new month. That's when we are commanded to come together and to read out of this book and hear this law. It's to keep us knowing what month we're in so that we can be in preparation of the holy days. So we know we're coming into the third month. The middle of the third month will be Shabbat or Shabuah or Pentecost, Feast of Weeks. So that's why it's important for us to head these months and get in and understand them and stamp them.
2 weeks, right?
When they come, 2 weeks exactly. When they come in, so we know, we get caught in everyday life and the 6 days of the week that we work, we get caught into that. So it's easy that these days will sneak up on you. So when you have a new month, we know we're coming in the third month. It's fresh in our mind. We know the middle of the third month, which will be 7 weeks from when we had our first fruits, we know is going to be our Pentecost. And it's interesting. I was talking earlier, Pentecost is always on Sunday because it's used for 7 Sabbath days you got to count, and then the morrow after. So 7 Saturdays, the day after the 7th Saturday would be the first day of the week, the Sunday. So these churches keep Pentecost every year on Sunday, and they keep it right around ours because they have to know the calendar for one, and they got to know when the Sabbath day is. So they know when the Sabbath day is because they got to use those Sabbaths to count 7 Sabbaths, and then the day after you will get Pentecost. So they get right around ours.
They won't keep the Sabbath.
Right. So they have to use the Sabbath to count, proving when the Sabbath is, but then yet they're having it on the first day of the week. And if their Sabbath truly was a Sunday, then this would be Pentecost Monday. But ain't no money on Monday. All the money is on Saturday and on Sunday.
So Sunday is the day of their worship, which is a big ball of light up in the sky.
Right. They worship the birth of the sun, the S-U-N. That's why their new year starts in the wintertime. So we're going to open up. This class is a kind of a continuation of where we went off about a repentant heart earlier today. Well, once you have a repentant heart, you have to be in a position where once you've decided I'm going to repent, there's no looking back. In life, there's decisions you can make. Once you make that decision, there's no going back. That decision is made. Life-changing decisions. Repentance is one of those. Once you decide, your eyes have been opened up and you've been shown that this is the way, the truth, you have to make whatever kind of adjustments you got to make, but it's moving forward towards the righteousness of the Most High. And if you make a mistake, you take a step side or to the left, but you don't head backwards. You keep your hand on the plow. So we're going to open up first in Luke chapter 9, and we're going to read 37 through 62. Luke chapter 9, and we're going to read verses 37 through 62.
Luke chapter 9, verse 37. And it came to pass that on the next day, when they were come down from the hill, much people met him. And behold, a man of the company cried out, saying, Master, I beseech you, look upon my son, for he is mine only child. And lo, a spirit takes him, and he suddenly cries out, and it tears him that he foams again. And bruising him hardly departs from him. And I besought your disciples to cast him out, but they could not. And Yeshua answering said, O faithless and perverse generation, how long shall I be with you, and suffer you? Bring your child here. And as he was yet coming, a devil threw him down and tear him. And Yeshua rebuked the unclean spirit, and healed the child, and delivered him again to his father. And they were all amazed at the mighty power of Elohim. But while they wondered, every one at the things which Yeshua did, he said unto his disciples, Let these sayings sink down into your ears, for the Son of Man shall be delivered into the hands of men. But they understood not this saying, and it was hid from them, that they perceived it not. And they feared, whosoever shall receive this child in my name receives me. And whosoever shall receive me receives him that sent me. For he that is least among you all, the same shall be great. And Johanan, John, answered and said, Master, we saw one casting out devils in your name, and we forbade him, because he follows not with us. And Yeshua said unto him, Forbid him not, for he that is not against us is for us. And it came to pass, when the time was come that he should be received up, he steadfastly set his face to go to Jerusalem, and sent messengers before his face, and they went and entered into a village of the Samaritans to make ready for him. And they did not receive him, because his face was though he would go to Jerusalem. And when his disciples James, Jacob, and Johanan saw this, they said, Master, will you that we command fire to come down from heaven and consume them, even as Elias did? But he turned and rebuked them and said, You know not what manner of spirit you are of. For the Son of Man is not come to destroy men's lives, but to save them. And they went to another village.
So they didn't understand what manner of spirit that he was coming in. They're thinking, part of it is, are you here to restore the kingdom? So they had part of that, like, oh man, we've been waiting. Oh, we so tired of being occupied in our own land. And when Yeshua came, they're like, you ready? Now, we know you're the king. We know how Yahweh operate. When he plead with man, he's killing man. So they're waiting for this. And now they're realizing Yeshua's checking them. Listen, that's not what I came here for. I came as the sheep this time. But the next time I come and we read the scripture, see that they're expecting Isaiah 63, Yeshua. They're not expecting the Isaiah 53. Two different Yeshua's coming. One is where I'm here to be the sacrifice for y'all. So to show you the way to get into the kingdom, which means you're going to have to sacrifice yourself in the living. And then you have the Isaiah 63. Listen, I done came and sacrificed, gave you the way, showed you, sent prophets, sent the Holy Spirit, sent comforters, and you still choosing not to do this. So now you're going to deal with the wrath. So they didn't really know, and that's why he said it forth here. Listen, I came to save men's lives. I came to enact this grace period, which is to save man's life, not to kill you. Death is going to come anyways. I came here so that you can save that second life, so you don't have to take that second death. Go ahead.
It's funny, you're looking at this right now. Good information, brother, but when we just read about what the disciples were thinking and talking among themselves, they can be looked at also as unclean thinking.
Oh, yeah.
You know what I mean? Because why would you think, and why would you have the competition of who's greatest? You understand? You should be happy that you've been called to serve.
Right.
Because you're not supposed to be jockeying for position.
No.
You understand? That's sinful. You understand? When you think you're better than somebody else, you're to be over somebody else. No. Your job is to serve. That's why he has shown when he had washed the feet, of the disciples, that the master is no greater than the servant. It doesn't mean you didn't give that master honor, you know what I mean? Because he is your teacher. He is the one that you're following. So this same statement, I knew it was somewhere in scripture. So like when we read further down, when he was telling you what the child you're supposed to receive, that's the mentality of the child. The kindness of the child, the innocence of that child, the learning ability of that child. He's just wide open. You can see that child up and teach him how to walk.
Right.
And you're looking at this one right here, talking about what, like, should we not allow this guy to cast out demons in your name? They don't realize that this brother here, he's trying to do Yah's will. And sooner or later, maybe Yahweh will bless that person to see more truth, and he can come into the fold and not be injured because he's looking at him as a child. He just innocently just trying to do Yah's will.
Right.
So it goes along, but we were taught that way back with Moshe. These guys, Elab and Medab, was prophesying and so forth, and then, Moses told him, no, it's like you worried for my job or something, No, Yahweh allowed him to do that. And I was reading it, trying to get back, and it said, Moshe said to them, envious thou for my sake?
Right.
With Elohim that all of Yahweh's people were prophets, and that Yahweh would put his spirit upon them.
Mhm.
So he's talking about, no. He said, you better hope that Yahweh can put his spirit on you. You can prophesy that you work with Yahweh, to do his will. Don't
Right.
be, tripping because
Yeah.
they're doing Yahweh's job. They do the job Yahweh sent them to do.
Right. It said right there, because he follows not with us. In other words,
Yeah.
you ain't under us.
Ain't no clip.
Hold on, you posted Yahshua with us, so we hired in y'all.
Uh-huh.
So that means you got to follow us to do what you need to do. And that's the same, that's
It's
lordship.
Gentiles.
That's what Gentiles do. The
Yeah.
same thing, like, should we pronounce fire to come? You don't understand what you're here to do.
Right.
When Yahshua, you can't call yourself a follower of Christ when your job here is to try to strike people down into the lake of fire or feel that you're better than somebody. Trying to order yourself. It's not about who's better. It's about what is your responsibility.
That's
what
right.
you supposed to do. What is your job?
That's right.
You know what I'm saying? And do your job. And that doesn't mean that's going to be your job forever. Your job might be one way, looking this way, 1 minute. The next minute is your job is everybody looking at you. And that doesn't mean you have a higher position than anybody.
No.
It's what is your job. Because if you don't have people to listen to, who you talking to?
That's right.
Talking to yourself?
Yourself.
And who gonna pray for you
Thank you.
when you mess up?
Who will?
If you don't have anybody in front of you. So that's why, we stay away from this whole Gentile way of that whole church setup. That's Greek.
Mm-hmm.
We have assemblies, and that whole, even the words that they use are pagan words, church, and and all those different deacon, and what was some of the other words they use? The gospel, Godspell, and all these
Godspell.
words they use is just out of line. At the end of the day, you see clearly Yahshua's ministry. Listen, we here to save people. We here to save people, and he said, look, bring this child over here. The least among you is going to be greatest in there, because everybody going to be great.
Mm-hmm.
Because if you made it this far, you of the body.
That's right.
You can't get greater than that. Go ahead.
Luke chapter 9, verse 57. And it came to pass that as they went in the way, a certain man said unto him, Master, I will follow you wheresoever you go. And Yahshua said unto him, Foxes have holes, and birds of the air have nests, but the Son of Man has not where to lay his head.
So I don't know what this business talking about. Yahshua was a millionaire.
I
His
was
father
gonna bring
had
that up.
his father had mansions, and yeah, he's talking about in heaven. He wasn't talking about Yosef had mansions everywhere. If that was the case, it wouldn't be offering doves.
Thank you.
You offering doves because you poor.
Here's another thing about that. Yahshua didn't worry about money.
Mm-hmm.
When Judas Iscariot carried the money bag, Judas Iscariot was stealing out the money bag, but he didn't worry about that because he always will have.
He had a job.
That's right.
He worried about his
father
job.
takes care of him.
Right.
If you doing Yahweh's job,
You ain't got to worry.
you ain't got to worry about nothing. And that's the thing. And the reason he didn't have no place to lay his head, he was on the business. He was going from there to there to there.
Yeah.
A job, a house would be a permanent place in one place. A place you got to go to every day, right there. That's where you see. So how did he travel?
Right.
You can't.
That wasn't his
no,
calling.
That wasn't his
Or
calling.
the disciples, they had families, they had all type of things, but they put all their eggs in one basket. And they
Right.
said, listen, I've been chosen to do the works of the Most High. I'm going to just do my job, handle whatever responsibilities I have. But if I'm doing my job properly, which includes taking care of your family, because you saw Eli did his job too.
That's right.
But that also includes handling your earthly responsibilities. Then you good. Everything else that, could fall this way, might not fall that way, but you don't have control. You ain't worried about that because you doing what you're supposed to do.
That's right. The next one is gonna be rough. You gotta be prepared for this next one though.
Verse 59. And he said unto another, Follow me. But he said, Master, suffer me first to go and bury my father. Yahshua said unto him, Let the dead bury their dead. But go you and preach the kingdom of Yahweh.
All right, so the elder said, let's deal with that one. Well, first and foremost, once Yahshua call you in your life, whatever you doing got to stop, got to drop. Whatever plans you had, goals, all the things you wanted that you felt that was so important in your life, he's saying, no, salvation is important.
That's right.
So focus on this. He didn't say forget everything else. No, he said, no, follow me. Do what you got to do. So if that's what the calling is for you to leave this stuff behind, you got to leave it behind. So what he's saying here, let the dead go bury the dead, you mean you're going to put these earthly, first of all, you going to bury this dead person ain't going to change his life or solve anybody's life. It ain't going to get salvation. But when the word come to you personally, step to your front doorstep, which ain't an everyday thing. That's like a once or twice in your life. He come to your doorstep and say, message, pick it up. Now, you better go. Or you're going to be with the dead burying dead. And that's what he meant. He didn't mean don't pay honor and respect. They were carrying Joseph's bones back to Israel. So what? It's not that they didn't care about this. No. He's placing the order here. If you got to do works, and this is what has to happen, and he says now you got to go. That's why he said leave everything behind. Don't look back. Take what you got to go and go right now. Don't worry about it. He got everything planned out for you, because if it wasn't time to go, he wouldn't have said go. That's right. He would have came to you a week later or 2 weeks, but he's coming to you now because it's time to go.
It's like our secular behavior. If a party's going on, back in the day, we ready to go to that party. But in today, like tonight, we have Rosh Chodesh. You don't think that people have things to do tonight? That they want to go out to dinner, or they want to go out to
my brother got a party right now. It's going on right now. We can't go because we have to keep the law, and then after, if we are able to, bless the household and come in and congratulate the brother for his milestone, then we'll do that. But not before the order of the Most High.
No, you have to look at your priorities. It's like we talked about this earlier about your what you desire. So as long as you stay in the scripture and ask Yahweh to teach you, put in your heart to understand what the scripture means, you will learn what Yahweh desires, and you will see the truth and the holiness of what he desires. And then you learn that you're not really losing or missing anything. In time, you learn that that's world.
Right, the devil try to convince you that you missing out on everything.
And that's the problem. We have been grown up in this world to understand this book. No, we were grown in this world to understand the world, have fun in the world, give ourselves to the world. Right. And that's what the mistake was. So we have to unlearn, to relearn, or learn what Yahweh says to do in our life. Right. So this is why we ask, look at what Yahweh's trying to say. And if you want to obey Yahweh, then obey him. Right. If you don't want to obey him, who are you obeying? Are you obeying yourself, or are you obeying the world?
The adversary. That's it. It's one or the other. And it's just about balance. The adversary tries to get us to feel that once we make this sacrifice, we got to give up our lives altogether. We can't do anything. No. And that's really the childish mind frame. When you tell a child, you can't have this. I can never have anything. Whoa. I said, no, you can't have this right here, right now. But that's the same childish thinking that we institute when we want to go party on the Sabbath day. I can't go anywhere. Really? So what happens later? 12 hours later, it's night. You can't go nowhere then? But see, that's what the flesh is telling us. And we got to choose who we're going to listen to. And he makes it very simple. Look, all this is mine. Everything else, do what you want. 6 days. Do what you want to do. That's right. Except for these called out days. 40 days. And these once a week. That's right. Everything else around it, you can do what you need to do. You even got holy days. You can still do some stuff on that day. You can. So it's just about reprogramming the brain. We're so used to being lawless and doing whatever we want to do that it ain't going to happen overnight.
And this is a lie that they've been taught.
Yeah.
I'll grow up, they said, you can't destroy your salvation. Once you accept Christ, right, all right, then you good. So like once saved, always saved, big old lie. Well, how come it tell you in scripture you can lose your salvation? You get blotted out of the book. So if you can get blotted out of the Lamb's Book of Life, then who's telling the truth here? Right. Then your pastor lied to you, right? Because it tells you in the book something totally different. So that means you will not understand this if you don't study it. You will not understand if you don't give yourself unto it. Because you don't know how long Yahweh is going to tarry with you. Right. Could be 10 years with you. Could be 2 years with me. Could be a week with that brother. You don't know, but you will not have the excuse to say Yahweh didn't send somebody to you. Right. Because it's on your DVD, as we use DVDs at this time. DVD thrown up in there, spin it. Let's see your life. And tell me where I'm lying. You know what I mean? We have to understand that.
Luke chapter 9 and verse 62. And Yeshua said unto him, no man having put his hand to the plow and looking back is fit for the kingdom of Yahweh.
All right, so no man having his plow and looking back, that's not clearly committing to what you're going to do. It's hard enough just to move forward once you're moving forward. You got to endure. You got to walk. It's a narrow path. If anybody's walked on something narrow, you don't have much latitude before you fall. That's what narrow is. You know, it's very narrow and it's not much, you know, or you're going to be off in some bushes or something. That's how this walk is. So you can't walk. Would you want a tightrope like this, looking backwards, and what? You're going to fall. So you got to trust the Most High. And once you make that decision, move forward, which means you're going to make mistakes and you're going to get your behind handed to you. That's a good thing. As long as you learn from these things. Because if you ain't serious about it, you're going to get your butt handed to you and you're going to turn right back around and go the other way because you was never serious to begin with. You were just trying to see how it works because that seems the wave. A lot of people are doing. Sounds like the right thing to do. So we got to make that decision in anything we do. When we make a solid decision of this importance, that there ain't no turning back once you make this decision. Them kind of covenants where there ain't no turning back. To not look back and keep moving forward and have faith. He's going to guide you through. But it's tough and you're not going to learn that just because you read it. You got to go through it. And you got to be almost where you try to turn back and he slapped the crap out of you and you wouldn't even let you turn back. Or your brother, remember Lot. Remember Lot's wife. Something. But we got to keep that attitude because it's hard enough. It's hard enough just to walk straight intentionally.
This parable that he's talking about, if anybody can understand what this mean by plowing, you got a donkey.
Right.
Hooked to two ropes.
Genesis 19. Bereshit chapter 19.
Genesis 19?
Yeah.
And you know, when you try to plow the ground, you don't know what you're going to come. You're going to hit rocks.
Right.
You got to figure you go around this rock or you got to dig this rock up. And you got to do this because you're trying to aerate the land.
Pay attention to where you're going.
Yeah, you're trying to break it up so you can plant seed.
Plow into a river or something, or a ditch or something. You know, then now your horse, your donkey messed up, everything, and you stuck.
So you got to have faith and strength. Keep on moving no matter what comes your way.
Can't look both directions. So you got to have to trust the Most High. He got what's behind you. And trust that angel that's in front of you, that's leading you. So we keep saying, remember Lot's wife. We're going to read about that. Bereshit, Genesis chapter 19, because, you know, that's why it says every man must work out his own salvation with fear and trembling. And you can't try to force somebody into doing something because if they're not trying to walk that walk, you're not doing them no help. No. Because you're making yourself their God. You gotta encourage people and lead by example. That's the best thing you can do. Because, you know, it's much, and it's in a good place in our heart because we love people. You know, somebody tarried with us, so you want to tarry with them. So definitely tarry with them. But just when it comes to the point where you feel like you're forcing, or the other person feels like you're forcing them to walk according to black and white what's written, step off.
Yeah, step off. Step
off because you don't know what you're interfering with. You don't want any part in taking away some kind of glory from the Most High.
That's right.
Because the person may have the father gonna deal with his daughter. You can guarantee that. Or deal with his son. You can guarantee that. He gonna deal with his children. So you don't want to put yourself in any kind of position where that person in their mind has to question whether or not they're walking in a righteous manner based on you. That could be dangerous for you.
That's right, because they're not walking toward God.
He'll remove people. He'll say, thank you. You did the job. I wanted you to do that one. But I'm going to have to remove you out the way or kill you. Yes, because I don't want none of this glory to go away. But this was for you. But you didn't want to trust me. That's right. So now you put yourself in a position.
That's right. That's dangerous.
Genesis chapter 19 and verse 1. And there came two angels to Sodom at even. And Lot sat in the gate of Sodom. And Lot, seeing them, rose up to meet them. And he bowed himself with his face toward the ground. And he said, Behold now, my sovereigns, turn in, I pray you, into your servant's house, and tarry all night, and wash your feet, and you shall rise up early and go on your ways. And they said, No, but we will abide in the street all night. And he pressed upon them greatly, And they turned in unto him, and entered into his house, and he made them a feast, and did bake unleavened bread, and they did eat.
So angels do eat.
Yes, they do.
They ate. So, you know, those
And then the same body as she would say, you're going to eat.
yeah, unleavened bread.
But
Go ahead.
But before they lay down, the men of the city, even the men of Sodom, compassed the house round, both old and young, and all the people from every quarter. And they went unto Lot and said unto him, Where are the men which came into you this night? Bring them out unto us, that we may know them.
All right. So if anybody reads, you know, knows when you know somebody, a man knows his wife, that don't mean like, you know what, I've been knowing you 10 years now, and you know, you're a guy, you're a good person. No, that's relations. When you know somebody, that's why I said Miriam had not known a man.
That's right.
She never slept with a man. She was a virgin. She was never had marital relations or sex. So, and here it's interesting, you know, this sin here, they like to pick on that homosexuality demon in this situation here. But when you go into Yashur and you read about what Sodom and Gomorrah is, that sounds like modern day America. That homosexuality was just one sin. There was way more wicked things they were doing besides this. A lot of it having to do with business and commerce and how you deal with strangers and oppressing strangers coming through.
We got our laws that's against that too.
Right. So, you know, keep in mind, it was more than just this that made Sodom such a horrible place. It wasn't like, you know, homosexuality was the reason that they destroyed the whole city. There's homosexuals everywhere that you go. There was that scenario. But I just enjoy people to go read more of that story, because when you see that, you realize we are in a modern day Sodom and Gomorrah. More than Babylon.
Verse 6. And Lot went out at the door unto them, and shut the door after him, and said, I pray you, brethren, do not so wickedly. Behold now, I have 2 daughters which have not known man.
This is deep.
Let me, I pray you, bring them out unto you, and do you to them as is good in your eyes. Only unto these men do nothing, for therefore came they under the shadow of my roof.
So this man's ready to give his virgin daughters. I have daughters. That's pretty stern to do that, to be able to do that. That means the wickedness that was about to go on was so bad that he was willing to do something else in return. That is wicked as well. Just you gonna give your virgin daughters to some random dudes, a town full of people, because they said, well, at least this a woman, and you know, worse, she might get pregnant or something or whatever, you know. But even the thinking in that already show you that the thinking is off there, to even suggest that. But to even think about doing that just shows you how, to the level of how wicked it was, what you were going to do to these strangers that have nothing to do with nobody, came here visiting under somebody else's house and can't even be safe in your house.
Verse 9.
Elder, you have something?
Yeah, one thing, do me a favor and check, see if the answer over there. Second thing is that I believe he knew that these guys was holy. I believe he knew they were holy. And the only thing is he's willing to sacrifice his daughters because he didn't want anything to happen to go down with these angels, these holy men. You know, so he'd rather sacrifice his own. And at that time, you owned your children. Mm-hmm. You know, they was your property. Mm-hmm. You can do them as your will. But they are precious jewels right now. And he was hoping that the people would accept his precious jewels, and he would take a loss. He would take the pain, even though his daughters would also, and his wife would take the pain. But don't sacrifice these holy men. Right. You know, so he was
no coming back from that. Right.
So he was giving all he had, you know, to keep and give Yahweh glory. You understand? To not desecrate, you know, somebody who came from Yah. You know, so that's pretty deep when you think about it. That you're gonna sacrifice your own children to evil men so they don't touch Yahweh's name. You know?
Yeah. I'm not doing it. I'm sorry.
That's pretty heavy, bro.
We're gonna have to. It's gonna be a shootout.
It's gonna be a shootout. Yeah.
I'm sorry.
That's pretty heavy.
Verse 9. And they said, Stand back. And they said again, This one fellow came in to sojourn, and he will now be a judge. Now will we deal worse with you than with them. And they pressed sore upon the man, even Lot, and came near to break the door. But the men put forth their hand and pulled Lot into the house to them and shut the door. And they smote the men that were at the door of the house with blindness, both small and great, so that they wearied themselves to find the door.
And that's also symbolic. Once you into that level of fleshliness and lust that you're willing to do any kind of wicked, to even consider being with another man, that already shows you point blank you already in a whole high level of fleshliness. But to get to that point where you trying to hurt and injure people if they don't allow you to do wickedness, then that's immediately blindness is coming over you. You're obviously blind.
That's right.
If you are that point, just like Dawid when he did like what we read earlier in Shabbat, when he went and took that man's wife, there was such a level of blindness. So this is symbolic that when you get off that deep into your sin that you're going to hurt somebody if they don't allow you to do your sin, you are blind.
Yeah, you are blind.
You are blind. You can barely see the door in front of you, the way. If you can't see the door, how are you going to see the narrow way, the narrow path, the way?
Verse 12, and the men said unto Lot, have you here any besides, son-in-law and your sons and your daughters and whatsoever you have in the city? Bring them out of this place. For we will destroy this place, because the cry of them is waxing great before the face of Yahweh, and Yahweh has sent us to destroy it. And Lot went out and spoke unto his sons-in-law, which married his daughters, and said, up, get you out of this place, for Yahweh will destroy this city. But he seemed as one that mocked unto his sons-in-law.
All right. So again, you have received the message from the Most High. The Holy Spirit told you there's going to be destruction and it's coming. And you go and you tell your brother, do you realize what's happening? The kingdom is at hand. Yahshua's coming. When he come back, he not playing. This ain't what you seen on TV. They laughing at you, mocking you. They don't want to hear what you have to say. All you can do is talk to them. Because when you force somebody to come with you, we'll see what happens. Go ahead.
Verse 15. And when the morning arose, then the angels hastened Lot, saying, arise, take your wife and your 2 daughters which are here, lest you be consumed in the iniquity of the city. And while he lingered, the men laid hold upon his hand and upon the hand of his wife and upon the hand of his 2 daughters, Yahweh being merciful unto him. And they brought him forth and set him without the city. And it came to pass, when they had brought him forth abroad, that he said, escape for your life, look not behind you, neither stay you in all the plain. Escape to the mountain, lest you be consumed.
So these angels came to destroy the place, judgment. And they're giving you instruction. Yahweh is telling you, listen, this is how you stay safe. Listen, don't look back. Stay here. Continue going and move that way. Death and destruction is behind you. Period. Go that way and stay high. Take the high ground all the time. Don't do what they do. Stay high. Go ahead.
Behold now. And Lot said unto them, verse 18, and Lot said unto them, oh, not so, Yahweh.
What? Not so, my master. What? Hold up. Well, first of all, why you calling me master or Adonai? And then you not listening to me. You telling me what you going to do. So you going to tell Yahweh what you going to do. No, Yahweh, don't do this. The angel's a messenger of Yahweh. So when the angel's speaking, that's Yahweh speaking. So that's Yahweh talking to you. This is why the brother said, no, not so, Yahweh. Because Yahweh is speaking. This is the messenger, the messengers of Yahweh. And you think that you got better strategy than Yahweh? But reverse, how did he get there to begin with?
Yep.
Forcing shit, excuse me, forcing stuff, forcing stuff on people. You know what I'm saying? Yahweh said, get you away from your family.
That's right.
You know, obviously you're going to bring your wife because they're one. Get you and your family, go over here. He grabbing Lot because he had a little bit of guilty conscience because of what happened with Lot's father.
His brother.
Yeah, his brother, Lot's father.
Yeah.
So he went and grabbed him, and now you see the situation he's in. So the dude shouldn't even be there to begin with. So he got a break to begin with.
You know, it's really interesting when they talk about they were virgins, yet they were married, all so-called betrothed, and yet their husbands have to be wicked because they did not come.
Right.
So he got his wife and his 2 daughters. So that's 4. That's the same as Yahshua when he was talking to Abraham, and he said, shall I tell my friend what I'm doing? And he bargained with him, he bartered with him about the lives of the people of the city.
Right.
And he said, if there's perchance 5 righteous, He even had 5 righteous.
Right,
Only
in
had
the whole
4.
city. Mm.
So basically, you can say 3 because you know what happened later with his wife.
Yeah, yeah. And then you just see this whole situation from Lot, the whole line. That's a whole line of people. He said, you will never be in the assembly of Yahweh.
Mm-hmm.
He said the Moabite or the Ammonite will
right.
never,
That's right.
never, not even the 10th. He said Edom, 10th generation,
So,
everybody else.
Was there one righteous? Because after they got in the cave, you know what the 2 daughters did?
It was said not a man, because the seed was fornication to
That's
begin
right.
with, unlawful
That's right.
sex.
That's
You
right.
can't sleep with your father.
You can't do that.
I don't care how bad situation is.
You can't do that.
Hey, he was going to have to trust Yah's will.
Tell
The
me about it.
new dawn of man, Planet of the Apes or
You
something.
can't do that.
Verse 18, and Lot said unto them, Oh, not so, Adonai. Behold now, your servant has found grace in your sight, and you have magnified your mercy, which you have showed unto me in saving my life. And I cannot escape to the mountain, lest some evil take me and I die.
So he had a way with words. You know how to be like, listen, oh great wise king of knowing all, who takes care of me. I'm not listening to you, you wonderful prince of power, peace counselor, almighty, knowing, omnipotent one. I'm not following your orders because I might die.
Oh, wow.
Okay.
He got game and he's foolish.
But you know, you're better with words than Yahweh.
Uh-huh.
You know, you can hide how you feel with Yahweh. You smarter than Yahweh.
Mm.
Okay.
Verse 20, Behold now, this city is near to flee unto it, and it is a little one. Oh, let me escape there. Is it not a little one? And my soul shall live.
So I got a better strategy than Yahweh. Listen, and this is how we sound all the time. Yahweh made it so simple. Listen, just follow these commandments and you will learn my way. You will understand how I do things, and this will help you make all the decisions in your life. But no, we got a better strategy. Because I done seen Lucifer across the street. He did it this way, and he got this, and he got that. And they're saying, blessed and highly favored. So, let me try this. Because my carnal eyes and my mind sees that this is the way to escape something. But Yahweh was already 10 steps ahead of you, to the point where he sent somebody to tell you exactly what to do. You could be like the Gentiles. They don't know what to do.
Right.
They don't know who to listen to. Hebrews, Kemet's, India, what's his name? Buddha. They don't know who to follow. Because Christian, they just picking anything. Hebrews, you had somebody specifically tell you what to do. But we got a better strategy because we know better.
Verse 21, And he said unto him, See, I have accepted you concerning this thing also, that I will not overthrow this city for the which you have spoken. Haste you, escape there, for I cannot do anything till you become there. Therefore the name of the city was called Zoar. The sun was risen upon the earth when Lot entered into Zoar.
All right, so you see how the Most High loves us. I know I was a victim of this, even all the way up until now. I feel like sometimes if things go my way, that's Yah's will. Because I wanted to do this, and this happened, so this is Yah's will. Nah. Yahweh will allow you to have some permissive. He'll be like, all right, since you don't want to listen to me, I told you go right. You feel like you can go left all the way till you get to the right. So, yeah, bear jumped out. Killed him. I can go this way. Lion jumps out. He rips off my arm. I got 2. I stabbed him with the other arm. I'm good, though. I'm left-handed anyways. I'm good. So I keep moving. He allowing me to go. But here while you losing limbs, arms, your friends getting ripped off and pulled off to the side and dying, and you thinking, okay, because Yahweh didn't stop you, it's okay. But that's why he said, don't test him. And testing him is when you go against what he says to do. Everything else outside of that, you have power. You are sovereign. You have the power to make all the decisions you want outside of that. But anything involving what he says, we got to stay on that, and we can't look back, and we can't double think about whether we're going to do what he told us to do. We got to just do it. He gave us enough. He gave us the free will. He gave us enough. He gave us so much free will to choose the things we want to do in our lives that why would we argue with these things? Just these set things here. Go ahead.
Verse 24. Then Yahweh rained upon Sodom and upon Gomorrah brimstone and fire from Yahweh out of heaven. And he overthrew those cities and all the plain and all the inhabitants of the cities and that which grew upon the ground. But his wife looked back from behind him, and she became a pillar of salt.
So she was saved. She was saved at that moment. She was saved until she, with her own free will, decided to go against what Yahweh said.
Because it was in her heart.
And she became a pillar of salt. Now, maybe she wouldn't have became a pillar of salt if she had a better covering. Maybe if that was Abraham's wife, maybe he would have been able to eat that iniquity. But when you got a covering that arguing with Yahweh, Yahweh say go right, you say you going to go left. There's not much room to make mistakes. So the moral of that is, listen, you can bring somebody, you can show them, you can help, you can pull them out the fire. But if they still going to continue looking back to that old lifestyle, when Yahweh say that's it. Nothing you can do.
Yep, they disobeyed the law. There was a law, verse 17, it's talking about escape for your life. Do not look behind you.
It's a commandment.
Right, do not do it.
And you think, well, why was that so bad? All she did was, if you things blowing up behind you, go look back too. Oh my goodness.
Yahweh said don't do it.
But it's the symbolism in it. You're not trusting him. Things that happen in this book were happening also to be a story for us in the future so that we could learn. It was a sacrifice that was made for us. When he says, I will give men's lives for you. So we looking at all this stuff in this book and thinking like there's some kind of special people when their lives as servants of the Most High is to be an example. It's the same thing going on in our lives. The things we go through and the things we do are to be written down. It's all being written down in a book. Now, whether or not it's going to be a lesson for somebody else, who knows? It could, the things we do, if it enters us into the kingdom or don't, might be things they read in the sabbatical kingdom. Teaching the kids, well, you see how our ancestors did this, and look, he's not here with us now because he chose to do this. Or look how this guy, he had a rocky start, did all this stuff, but he repented. And that goes right with Ezekiel 18, so however you finish.
Verse 27. And Abraham got up early in the morning to the place where he stood before Yahweh, and he looked toward Sodom and Gomorrah, and toward all the land of the plain, and beheld, and lo, the smoke of the country went up as the smoke of a furnace. And it came to pass when Elohim destroyed the cities of the plain that Elohim remembered Abraham and sent Lot out of the midst of the overthrow, when he overthrew the cities in which Lot dwelt.
All right, so again, this was all about Abraham. That's the whole reason he dealt with Lot. So when people ask, well, what can I do, for my deceased relative or my younger son or my brother or whatever, they ain't listening, not doing anything. You can't force them to do righteousness. No. You can lead by example. You can tell them what the things that they need to do and show it to them in this book so they know it's not you.
That's it.
And then you can walk the best that you can walk and hope that it elicits mercy for your loved ones. That Yahweh would see you so much as a friend and say, I'm going to give a boy a chance. I'm going to give a girl a chance just because of you. Because you that close to me. But from that point on, it's all on them. It's all on them. And we've got multiple proofs of that point where people are getting mercy because of what somebody else did. Go ahead. And we might be very well proof of that right now. That we here because of something great when our ancestors decided to do something righteous and it was imputed onto them.
There's another part of that too, which we're learning, which is be careful with your loved ones also. Because that same statement, Yahweh will give lives to you. Mm-hmm. So when they decide to disrespect you or injure you, you have to forgive them. Mm-hmm. But that doesn't mean you got restitution, restoration with them. Mm-hmm. So you give them love, but you kind of stay away from them. And that's the hardest thing we have to do sometimes, is stay away from them for their own benefit. Because if they don't respect Yah, they're not going to respect you. If they don't respect you, they're not going to respect Yah because you're trying to follow Yah. So you are allowing them to injure themselves if you can consistently stay in their company and they consistently disrespect you.
Right.
Yahweh is going to deal with that because Yahweh don't know them.
Mm-hmm.
And the reason I say that, Yahweh don't know them, of course, he knows everything he created on this earth. He
Right.
don't know them because they have not made a commitment.
He's not in covenant with them.
That's
like
right.
that. Right.
They're not in covenant with him. And so that makes it very dangerous for them. You know, so we have to learn that also. That Yahweh sets up his churches, he sets up his family, you know, the body, you know, so we have to understand that Yahweh not gonna call every one of your family members.
Right.
You know, so all you can do is walk in the path that he sets forth for you, and by his mercy, maybe 1, 2, maybe 3, 4 of your family will come.
Right.
So,
And you know, the thing is, we got so many problems ahead of us.
yes, we do.
I can't deal with that stuff behind me too.
Right.
I already dealt with that.
Right.
You know, I have dealt with the things I did in the past that is potentially in front of me. But at least it's still looking forward. Dealing with stuff I already did 10, 20 years already and gave that to Yahshua and washed that away. I can't deal with that.
Yeah.
That's too much. It's overwhelming.
Yeah.
And that's what we do. We quick to forgive other people sometimes, but won't forgive ourselves for the things that we've done in the past. And it stays here as baggage we carry around because we feel like we're not worthy of forgiveness. But at the end of the day, we are. Because if you believe you are worthy, if you receive that faith and you are trying not to walk in that same type of manner, you're worthy of that forgiveness. If you're going to use it and do your best to walk in a proper manner, and if you mess up and you fall after that point, as long as you're getting back up and you're still looking forward, Yahshua got that. That was his whole point of dying. I'm here to save men's lives.
Yeah.
So nowhere here in this say not looking back don't mean no slipping and falling and no making mistakes.
No, you're going to make them.
No, look at your actions. Look where you're going. Continue moving forward. Don't allow anything or anyone to get in your mind to put you back in the old mind frame that was looking the other direction.
Right. But then you turn it from the plow.
Mm-hmm.
How did you get to that point?
It's enduring for life.
Right. Day by day.
This nothing we say is like, oh, got it.
That's right.
That's all I needed to do. And I'm walking in righteousness forever. Nah. These are the things that we have to put into our mind. We got to replace all that other stuff that this matrix, it's not real, put into our head. All those different things. And we have to distinguish, okay, part of it. And then we got to look at the stuff the devil twisted, which is real, but he made it seem another way. And you got to little by little, starting with the weightier matters, judgment, mercy, faith, love, the weightier matters. Start with those things and start pulling those things and placing them in the right place and continue moving forward. And over years, you'll have things in the proper place. And now you just got, shake it, keep it, or, oh, wait a minute. Nah, this doesn't belong here anymore because this is not a weightier matter anymore. This is the weightier matter. This needs to go up top, up front for me to see every time I walk in here to remind me, like these fringes every time. Oh, remember these commandments.
Right.
So you got to place those things, and little by little, you got to reprogram the mind from a scientific perspective.
You got to rehearse.
You have passageways that your brain sends messages through the brain cells, the neurons, across the synapses. The synapses are like those spaces, and the signals jump across. And the brain uses is efficient, like a computer. It uses the same way. This is how you're able to drive home, not even looking. You're just so used to going the same route because the brain is used to going. It's easier, like electricity. It flows in the least path of resistance. So what we have to do, the brain is saying, hungry, eat. The spirit is saying, don't eat pork, don't eat this, don't. But the brain just used to go in a certain direction. We got to stop that and say, nope, it needs to go this connection. And you have to constantly do that over and over and over again till it's like, I'm hungry. Pork, unclean food. It doesn't even go that way.
Yeah.
And you got to do that with every single move, every action, every decision you make. And that ain't going to happen. You're not going to get exposed to all this in one day.
No.
So it takes time. And again, it's going to want to go that way and goes the wrong route. You're like, I got to grab it back. Nah, wrong way. And that's the endurance that Christ talks about, that Yahshua said, listen, he who endureth until the end is fit for the kingdom. Because we're going to be doing this. Everybody in this room still doing it.
Everybody.
I make that disclaimer. I know it's your second time here. everybody here know I'm still fighting the same fight everybody fighting.
Everybody.
And it takes everybody in this room to support one another in this process. At one given point in time, everybody in this room has supported each other in some form or fashion to help them walk righteously in this word.
Right.
And that was a good question.
Genesis chapter 19, Bereshit chapter 19 and verse 30. And Lot went up out of Zoar and dwelt in the mountain, and his 2 daughters with him.
We can stop right there. We know what happens there. We don't need to go there. Let's go to Proverbs chapter 14. If you want to know what happens, this is how we got Moab and Ammon, because he slept with his daughters. His daughters got him drunk. I don't care how drunk you are. I'm going to know my daughter. That's why that story just is kind of suspect to me with how Lot's character, because I'm like, I don't know how drunk you can get when you sleep with your daughters.
Twice?
Proverbs chapter 14, Mishlei chapter 14. But that sounds like a man's ways who are movable.
Yeah.
If the right circumstances arise, I will sin. That we can't be that way, because the devil gonna make sure you get that right circumstance, and he gonna use your own slip up. Because if he didn't ask to go to the mountains, would he been all yoked up in a cave with his wives, hiding from something he shouldn't be hiding from? He shouldn't be hiding from the men. The angels came and told. If angels came to you, what you hiding? You should be scared of the angels, if anything.
That's right.
But you scared of the men? Proverbs, Mishlei, chapter 14. Let's start this at verse 1. And I believe this was in your class too.
Yeah, it was.
Hallelujah.
Praise Yah.
Every wise woman builds her house, but the foolish plucks it down with her hands. He that walks in his uprightness fears Yahweh, but he that is perverse in his ways despises him.
Chapter 14.
Yeah. And when you despise Yahweh, you think like, I hate the Most High. I hate him. I hate Yahweh. That's not despising him. When he gave you his jewels and you don't use that like a jewel, you don't take a diamond and put it in a safe or on a ring to display of how precious this is, that means you despise it. That's why I said Esau despised his inheritance, because he traded away like it was nothing. So when Yahweh sent his servants to talk to you about transgressing the law and you just cast it to the side like it's nothing, you despising it.
Can we look at that word?
What's the Strong's for that?
For what word?
Despise.
This is H959.
It's bazah. Bazah, spelled B-A-Z-A-H. H959. And that's to de-esteem. You see, you don't esteem what he says. He says something, it doesn't matter. I can do what I want to do. My way is better. Yeah, I said go this way. Nah, I don't know about that one. You despising him, because that's how disrespectful that is. You telling me the creator of there's a wrong decision and a right decision, and this guy invented both of them. And you telling me he's telling you what to do and you got a better way? Nah, you despise it. You disdained. You contempted. You think to scorn. You made you a vile person. You made it a vile to you.
That same thing was in that Samuel, 2 Samuel chapter 12, when Samuel came to David, Nathan came to David and said to him, wherefore have you despised the commandment of Yahweh?
Right. You hated it. You didn't esteem it.
We knew that David was someone who, really upheld Yahweh's laws and stuff, but right condition come about. You don't care about Yah's word.
Blindness. He's like the men at the door. Just blind you, because this is a man of Yahweh's heart. And he didn't just like, well, David, why you get mad and kill that dude like Moses did? Moses killed a man. He was upset that the two brothers were strifing with each other. You know what I'm saying? And he ended up killing one of the brothers. You know what I'm saying? Or, excuse me, the Egyptian. Ended up killing him. You know what I'm saying? So he killed a brother. That's understandable passion. But it ain't understandable. You mean you took another man's wife? All these women in Israel, you the king, you could have anyone. You took the man's wife. Then you got her pregnant. Then on top of that, you had his husband killed and tried to play it off. Mm-hmm. That's Utter blindness. Because I could see one of these little earthly non-commandment having dudes do that. Even me and my wickedness would never consider doing that in my most carnal way. So that means that's not David. He's just blinded by the sin. And the Most High allowed that to happen to make a point, to make a message, so that we could learn.
It's very heavy what happened to David.
He's a man of Yahweh's heart. His way was, he was perfect with the Most High. His way was perfect with the Most High. When he did wrong, he repented and he didn't look back.
See, that shows the power of the truth. Because say you train a child the way he should go, and then he won't depart from it. You see, because he was blinded by, you could say, a spirit, his own will, his own lust, you know, and he couldn't see through it. Every time he saw it, he just pushed it to the side. Every time he came surface, he pushed it to the side. I'm gonna cover this.
Right.
And you don't think Yahweh gonna see this? So what man is your state of your mind that you think that Yahweh won't see your evil, your evil intent and your evil ways?
Right.
So when it was shown to him by a man of Yah, spoke truth, because Yahweh spoke through him, it snapped him out of it. It made him repent immediately.
Right.
You know, that's deep if you think about it. So Yahweh was still in his heart, but the problem was he was trying to overcover the heart by his own will.
He was despising. He was despising the law.
He was despising Yahweh, but not obeying it. That's pretty deep.
Right. But when he was presented and Yahweh allowed him to get that vision back, he immediately repented. And that's the same thing with us. When we get a snapshot of, oh, wait a minute, this is not of Yah, what I'm doing. You got it right there. You got, because that could be gone. So the next second, somebody say something else will piss you off even more. Now you done completely, you done threw that to the side.
Yeah.
I mean, just that word despise to me makes so much sense because that's a strong word, you know. It's,
Very.
And it's like the antithesis of something, you know. And
That's a big word right there. Antithesis. What?
Antithesis.
Then what's the Strongs for that now? I'll just play.
Think about though, he's like, because that's not something that just happened in a snap.
Yeah.
Like, that's something that happened. That was a series of events. And
Yeah.
like, it makes sense because it's like if he's going through that series of events and he knows the Most High, he's very familiar with it. At that point, he had to kind of despise it because I'm pretty sure, like the elder said, like the thoughts was popping up. This is wrong. This is wrong, this is wrong.
Exactly.
Many times, and then every time he had to like shoot him back down. It's like at that point you have to be despising, you know, his law to even be carrying that out.
Yeah.
Like,
You know, in his defense, have you seen our sisters? I mean, if many men have fallen to that, our sisters are the most beautiful in the world. But that's not an excuse. But that's an understandable statement. But lust didn't cause him to fall. Before lust came in the picture, pride and arrogancy and I'm set, I'm good, I ain't got to go do the job. The king is like the mascot. He got to go out to the war. Not unslayed enough people. You done heard the remix to my songs of how many people I killed? You know what I'm saying? Drake just dropped a verse on my joint, man. Everybody know me. I kill somebody in a heartbeat. So he was feeling himself. So it was easy. Oh, you done did so many good works. Just stay here. Now he was in the wrong situation at the wrong time. And he was already puffed up and already in his flesh. It's just a matter of time. When you know to do good, and you don't do it, sin lies at the door and it will rule over you. And the Most High allowed it. So the lesson is say, listen, I ain't showing no favors here. I don't care who you are. David, Solomon, Moses. He done made examples with his greatest leaders. He made examples. But it's not for us to think that we going to get the same treatment. Ain't all of us in here the king of Yasharal where the Messiah going to be pulled out of our bloodline.
That's right.
Verse 3. In the mouth of the foolish is a rod of pride, but the lips of the wise shall preserve them. Where no oxen are, the crib is clean, but much increase is by the strength of the ox. A faithful witness will not lie, but a false witness will utter lies.
Praise God.
A scorner seeks wisdom and finds it not, but knowledge is easy to him that understands.
That scorner, he's seeking wisdom to try to be a debate against somebody so he can have a one-up or he can make a name for himself. He's not going to receive that wisdom.
Verse 7, go from the presence of a foolish man when you perceive not in him the lips of knowledge. The wisdom of the prudent is to understand his way, but the folly of fools is deceit. Fools make a mock at sin, but among the righteous there is favor. The heart knows his own bitterness, and a stranger does not intermeddle with his joy. The house of the wicked shall be overthrown, but the tabernacle of the upright shall flourish. There is a way which seems right unto a man, but the end thereof are the ways of death.
That's your ways. That's your ways.
That's right.
Yahweh's is the only way to go. Your way is going to end up in death.
That's why I like to put those two together, what you just read earlier about verse 14:5. A faithful witness will not lie, but a false witness will utter lies. And this is what we have to, all of us have to continue to practice. Now, you will slip every now and then for some foolish reason, but it will come and slap you upside your head and tell you, why did you say that? Why did you allow it to come out your mouth? What reason did you have to say a lie? And then you're going to be upset with yourself because all this time you're training yourself to always keep truth in your mouth. Like you start truth in your inward parts. But you don't know when sometime that you're going to utter a lie for whatever reason. Then you have to go correct that thing, or you go for your boss and say, I'm sorry, Father Yahweh, I lied. I said things. I don't know why I said that.
Right.
But forgive me for it, you know. But if you practice not lying, you understand, then you, how you say, won't lie to yourself. Because that's the thing we do all the time. We lie to ourselves. And we make that lie grow. And that injures us because Yahweh sees that lie. You darken a part of your heart by doing it.
Right.
You know? So I brought that point out because if we keep them two together, that's one way that also can add to your question earlier. You know, how do you walk on the right path? Don't lie to yourself.
Be honest to yourself, right?
Don't lie to nobody else. Doesn't mean you have to open your mouth and say everything that's coming out of your mind. You just don't have to lie. You
Right.
know? And in practice, it'll change you.
Right. And we, you know, we're taught, you know, for the smallest things, you know, we'll lie to make somebody feel better. Or, you know, lie because everybody else is doing it. You know, and a lie, you know, so we can save some money. You're 10. Everybody here 10, right? Y'all 10? How old are you? You're 10, right? How old are you? 11? No, you're 10. You know, we do that. We do that stuff, and then our kids watch this stuff. They watch all these things, these little lies that we do. I remember, I think we were Six Flags when Six Flags water park. And I think Yazzie was just like barely too old. And my flesh immediately went to hustle mode. Look, she gonna be this age. And I looking at my children, they're looking at me, and I was like, nah. So you can save $5.99. You willing to put this kind of message out to your children that it's okay to lie if you're gonna make some money or benefit you. And you know, and I had to kind of pull that back, but that's what the flesh want to do. So that's part of you and your mind saying, look, I'm not going to accept no lie. Nothing in a lie is going to be involved with me. So I don't want that. Because once you get comfortable, your body, your vessel gets comfortable with those lies, that lying spirit going to fix itself to you to the point where you lying, you won't even remember you lying. You say you won't even remember. I know people like that that lie dead to my face, dead in my face, in front of a whole room of people, and not remember a word saying it.
That's right, that was the spirit.
Not remember it. And we think it's because of some kind of, you know, intoxicant or whatever. Nah, it's that drunken spirit.
That's right.
That drunken spirit. And that could be from pride, arrogancy, jealousy, envy, you know, lack of confidence, anything that can cause our flesh to be drunken to the point where we just, I know I done caught myself in the past. People saying, I swear you said, and I'm like, I know I didn't say that. I know I didn't say it. But the whole room couldn't be lying. How everybody heard me say that stuff. And then you realize, man, I was under a spirit.
That's right.
Because I don't remember it. Why I don't remember it? Because I wasn't thinking to do that. I was just letting the flesh do what it wants to do. It's following those same paths that it always follow. That's why we gotta always keep that spirit ahead of us so we don't allow that old connection to go through.
There's one thing I want to add to that. Make a long story short. It's also been posted on Facebook. We see it all the time. When you see a mother was talking to her child, He said, but she's training a child, and excuse me, you know, we can talk about that right now, but in false Easter, this Easter business, this Christmas business, this Thanksgiving business, all of the Mother's Day, Father's Day, all of the different things that the world does. You understand? But after you teach your child lies to grow up believing a lie, that child gonna grow up and learn that wasn't the truth. I'm working up behind all to pay for these gifts, but I'm giving all this credit now to some fat a guy in the suit.
Right.
You know, or this Easter bunny that's supposed to lay eggs. Where that come from? You understand? That's supposed to be on Resurrection Day. So what's it got to do with the Messiah?
Right.
So we allow our families and our mother and fathers teach us these lies, but they come to your face and say, "Don't you ever lie to me."
Right.
So you're gonna tell your child, "Don't you ever lie to me," but you teaching this child to lie with all these pagan holidays you teaching.
Lie to them, but don't lie to me. Right.
Proverbs chapter 14, verse 9. Fools make a mock at sin, but among the righteous there is favor. The heart knows his own bitterness, and a stranger does not intermeddle with his joy. The house of the wicked shall be overthrown, but the tabernacle of the upright shall flourish. There is a way that seems right unto a man, but the end thereof are the ways of death. Even in laughter the heart is sorrowful, and the end of that mirth is heaviness. The backslider in heart shall be filled with his own ways, and a good man shall be satisfied from himself. The simple believes every word, but the prudent man looks well to his going. A wise man fears and departs from evil, but the fool rages and is confident. He that is soon angry deals foolishly, and a man of wicked devices is hated. The simple inherit folly, but the prudent are crowned with knowledge. The evil bow before the good, and the wicked at the gates of the righteous. The poor is hated even of his own neighbor, but the rich has many friends. He that despises his neighbor sins, but he that has mercy on the poor, happy is he. Do they not err that devise evil? But mercy and truth shall be to them that devise good. In all labor there is profit, but the talk of the lips tends only to penury. The crown of the wise is their riches, but the foolishness of fools is folly. A true witness delivers souls, but a deceitful witness speaks lies. In the fear of Yahweh is strong confidence, and his children shall have a place of refuge.
So if you want to work on your confidence, in your self-confidence, don't put that confidence in yourself, because you're going to make mistakes. You're going to fall. You're going to be dependent on the best that you can be. But you put your confidence on Yah, then it's going to make sure that you're the best you can be, and the people around you are going to be the people you need to be, because you're putting all your confidence in Yah. You're making your decisions based on Yah in everything that you do. You're not just selecting some. Everything you do, you consider in Yah, even if it on the surface doesn't seem like it deals with Yah, because just even the frame of thinking that it can go left or right, but the fact that you considered Yah, he gonna make your left or your right, either one you want to go to, blossom, because you committed your ways unto Yah, your thoughts on him. Go ahead.
Verse 27. The fear of Yahweh is a fountain of life, to depart from the snares of death. In the multitude of people is the king's honor, but in the want of people is the destruction of the prince. He that is slow to wrath is of great understanding, but he that is hasty of spirit exalts folly.
That's another one that ain't gonna happen overnight. You ain't just gonna become slow to wrath. If you are fast to wrath, it's just like slowing down a car. You're not gonna go 150 miles an hour and just stop. Because if you go 150 miles an hour and just stop, somebody finna die.
Somebody gonna get hurt or die.
Period. So it's the same thing. Be slow to wrath. That means you gotta slow down wrath. All right, at least it took me 15 minutes before I slapped the hell out somebody. Then, okay, I'm able to go an hour. Then now I'm like, all right, I'm not slapping the hell out of somebody. I'm just going to beat you up my words. Then it's like, all right, I'm not going to beat you up my words. I'm going to smile. I'm going to grin and bear that. And I'm going to think about that. Then I'm going to beat you up with my word. It's a process. But you can't lie to yourself and say, well, I didn't beat the guy up when he was talking crap. I'm good. Eyes healed. I'm healed. Look, my legs. I can walk. It's a miracle. Like Eddie Murphy in different trading places. No, it ain't gonna work like that. You gotta start working on that. and acknowledge that. Confess that to your brothers and sisters so they can hold you accountable to these things. Because you could be at home beating up on your children and your wife and yelling, then come around the sanctuary just as smiling as ever. And you ain't going to get no help like that. You're going to curse your family.
Verse 30. A sound heart is the life of the flesh, but envy the rottenness of the bones. He that oppresses the poor reproaches his maker, but he that honors him has mercy on the poor.
He that oppresses the poor hates his maker, but he that honors him has mercy on the poor. So if you honor the Most High, you know that I don't care if that's the least of his children to the greatest of children. That's still his child. You're going to have that much love for them. That's not your way. That's Yah's ways. That's his commandment. His commandment is to show you his ways so that when you see that situation, you know how to react to that. You ain't nobody, don't believe the hype. Ain't nobody that good. You just naturally see that, unsavory character coming up to you looking for some money. And you like, man, he look like he on crack. Flesh can be like, oh, you ain't finna steal my money or whatever.
Verse 32. The wicked is driven away in his wickedness, but the righteous has hope in his death. Wisdom rests in the heart of him that has understanding, but that which is in the midst of fools is made known. Righteousness exalts a nation, but sin is a reproach to any people. The king's favor is toward a wise servant, but his wrath is against him that causes shame.
All right. Let's go to the conclusion. Let's go to Matthew chapter 24. Mattathiah chapter 24. This goes back to what we talked earlier. When it's time to go, and he say, listen, go. You ain't got time to bury nobody. You don't got time to be, let me go get my plug for my iPhone. You ain't got time for none of that, because I know that's what I be trying to do. Let me get my portable charger and my AK. No, you ain't got time for none of that. When he say it's time to go, it's time to go. Hopefully he say time to go when you got your portable charger with you and you got your stuff. But at the end of the day, the precept in that is when it's time to go, do not look back. Put your faith in Yah. And the fact that he even came to tell you it's time to go should let you know that it's going to be all right for you. Because other people, he not telling them to go. He just taking them up. One shall be left grinding, the other one taken up.
I'm glad you said it. Explain that, brother, in 2 Thessalonians chapter 4. We're talking about that rapture business. That's not true. You got to be taken up. You're dead.
Yeah, you finna get destroyed.
The one left is the one who's walking out of this.
You finna be destroyed.
You destroyed. And people use that wrongly. They're talking at the line.
Right. Then that whole rapture doctrine was like created in the 70s. It's not even that old.
No.
You gotta take one line in there and not look at the definitions of the word and grasp an understanding and read the rest of the prophecies how we gonna be in the mountains. If you're in the mountains, you're gonna be in the clouds.
Because, brother,
you in the mountains. That's where the clouds at.
That's right. And then look at it like this, right? None of the disciples said, when are we going up to heaven?
Yeah, when are we getting
We're not
beamed
going.
up?
They said, when is the kingdom coming down? When is Jerusalem here?
Yeah. When are you going to restore the kingdom
When
and all
you
that?
restore the kingdom? And they tell you in what? Isaiah 60, Isaiah 61, you're talking about Revelation 21, tells you New Jerusalem is going to be on earth.
Right.
On earth, coming down. He's going to destroy heaven.
You get taken up in the sky somewhere, you're going to realize that they ain't never been to space.
Oh, yeah, they've been to space.
Because you finna burn up. You finna burn up.
Mattathiah, chapter 24, and verse 1. And Yahshua went out and departed from the temple, and his disciples came to him for to show him the buildings of the temple. And Yahshua said unto them, See you not all these things? Verily I say unto you, there shall not be left here one stone upon another that shall not be thrown down. And as he sat upon the Mount of Olives, the disciples came unto him privately, saying, Tell us, when shall these things be? And what shall be the sign of your coming, and of the end of the world? And Yahshua answered and said unto them, Take heed that no man deceive you.
There it is.
For many shall come in my name, saying, I am Mashiach, and shall deceive many. And you shall hear of wars and rumors of wars. See that you be not troubled, for all these things must come to pass, but the end is not yet. For nation shall rise against nation, and kingdom against kingdom, and there shall be famines and pestilences and earthquakes in diverse places. All these are the beginning of sorrows. Then shall they deliver you up to be afflicted, and shall kill you, and you shall be hated of all nations for my name's sake. And then shall many be offended, and shall betray one another, and shall hate one another. And many false prophets shall arise, and shall deceive many. And because iniquity shall abound, the love of many shall wax cold.
So many false prophets shall arise and deceive many. They can only deceive you if you're comfortable with lies. You like the way lies sound. You like the way it comes off. It sounds like you're okay. You're safe. You don't have to do nothing. Everything's all right. Everything's going to be cool. You ain't got to suffer. You don't got to sacrifice. You saved. You believe in this Greek, name that didn't exist at the time. All these things, you were comfortable. You didn't want to correct those little lies in your life. So when these big, huge lies come, it's so easy to attach yourself to your vessel. So this is why we got to start rooting up these little lies. Like, first of all, I know his name is not the Lord.
That's right.
I know that. And I know that the Lord in Hebrew is Baal.
That's right.
Baal, which is a pagan god. They said don't even say his name, much less worship him. So I'm going to start with that. But I'm comfortable with using the Lord. I've been using it all this time. But I'm not comfortable knowing that this is a lie. So now I can remove these things. So now when a big lie comes, you already uncomfortable with lies, so you reading the truth so somebody can't lie to you. Then when they false Christ say, hey, I'm Jesus H. Christ, how you doing? And you like, wait a minute, hold up, bruh. You here? Why you ain't in Jerusalem? Where Mount Olivet at? It's right here on Mount Helens. No, it's not. You're lying. And if you're here, where's the adversary, the devil? Oh, he came already. Nah. Yeah, he right. I'm looking at him. Go ahead.
There he is right there.
Verse 10, and then shall many be offended, and shall betray one another, and shall hate one another. And many false prophets shall rise, and shall deceive many. And because iniquity shall abound, the love of many shall wax cold.
Because so much lawlessness is going on that people are saying like, man, if everybody was righteous, then maybe I'd be halfway righteous. But everybody wicked, so I'm even wicked. So you got all those people lukewarm, they going whatever direction. Same people that was in Jerusalem when King David and the judges was here. Hey, Israel, keep the commandments. As soon as they died, oh, everybody like not doing it, so they not doing it. So this is what you're going to see in this world. The majority of people are not leaders. They're not going to stand on their own. Go ahead.
And this good news of the kingdom shall be preached in all the world for a witness unto all nations, and then shall the end come.
Can I stop right there?
Mm-hmm.
I want to stop right there for a reason. Okay. My brother just read, for this good news shall be preached for all the world. Well, people look at that and say, well, Catholicism's been around the world since 300, AD, or 290 something AD. Yeah, Pope in 321. So the book has been pushed all through the world. Oh, really? They used our book to push false doctrine.
Right.
Okay, so this is the true doctrine right now. We teach about Yahshua,
which one Yahweh, of they books?
Yeshua, the holy days. Okay, this is the truth right here. That other stuff like that, you go talk to them right now, they want to deny this. There's more stuff to listen to and read. Like what? The Pope epistles? Whatever comes out of his mouth? See, Pope calls himself the little vicar. All right, they call him that. God in the flesh.
His Pope means father.
Means father.
And he's saying he's the Holy Father.
That's right.
So not only he's like a father to you, a father figure. No, he's the Holy Father.
Holy
so who's
Father.
Who's the Holy Father then? There's a Holy Father?
Now who's that?
That's why the angels got to say holy, holy, holy. Because he's the holy Father.
No, his clothes got holes in. That's what it is. His garment is full of holes.
Man, he got the number of a man.
That's
666 right on his forehead with his Dagon cap.
That's right, with his fish cap on.
His whole thing say abomination on him. And you let that man fool you? He could be wearing some jogging pants and with that little yarmulke on his head, and you can see that that's wickedness.
That's right. Really wicked.
Verse 13.
He fool you, you comfortable with lies.
But he that shall endure unto the end, the same shall be saved. And this good news of the kingdom shall be preached in all the world for a witness unto all nations, and then shall the end come. When you therefore shall see the abomination of desolation spoken of by Daniel the prophet, stand in the holy place. Whoso reads, let him understand. Then let them which be in Judea flee into the mountains. Let him which is on the housetop not come down to take anything out of his house. Neither let him which is in the field return back to take his clothes.
That's right.
And woe unto them that are with child, and to them that give suck in those days. But pray you that your flight be not in the winter, neither on the Sabbath day.
Wait a minute. This is Christ speaking. So why is he talking about the future prophecy that ain't happened yet, but he's considering the Sabbath day? But I thought he died. He nailed the Sabbath to the cross. So then the prophecy wouldn't make no sense. So you're still keeping the Sabbath day in the future when this thing is ending, to the point where it would be grievous unto you if it happened on the Sabbath day.
That's right.
Because you are resting, you are convocating, you're mikring, you're coming together with your assembly. So this is supposed to be a peaceful day, and then you having to flee.
That's right.
So they lying to you. They lying to you point blank, because you can see in Acts they keeping the Sabbath day. So how much more points do you need? Unless you're comfortable with a lie.
Verse 21. For then shall be great tribulation, such as was not since the beginning of the world to this time, no, nor ever shall be. And except those days be shortened, there should no flesh be saved. But for the elect's sake, those days shall be shortened.
Who's the elect?
Commandment keepers.
That's right.
Then, if any man shall say unto you, Lo, here is Mashiach, or there, believe it not. For there shall arise false messiahs and false prophets, and shall show great signs and wonders, insomuch that, if it were possible, they shall deceive the very elect. Behold, I have told you before. Wherefore, if they shall say unto you, Behold, he is in the desert, go not forth. Behold, he is in the secret chambers, believe it not. For as the lightning comes out of the east and shines even unto the west, so shall also the coming of the Son of Man be. For wheresoever the carcass is, there will the eagles be gathered together.
So there's going to be a lot of death when he returns. It's like lightning. So the light going to be so bright, it's killing folks. They can't deal with it. They terrified. They know, especially all those people that was looking for a blonde-haired, blue-eyed Greek to come down, smiling at you, winking and banging at you. That ain't going to go down like that. So people, just in their own hearts, going to have heart attacks. Just for the simple fact, that's what he looked like, and I've been treating these people like this? Oh, just kill me right now. Rocks fall on me, hide me, kill me. We want to hide from the wrath of the Most High. It's too late, because he's just going to raise you up to get the wrath forever. So that's all we're going to do today. Again, neither let him which is in the field return back to take his clothes. Let him that's on the housetop not come down to take anything out of his house. We cannot look back once we make this decision of righteousness, full speed ahead. So any last questions or comments before we close and feast?
Nope.
All right. Let's go ahead and close in a prayer. All brothers remove their head coverings. And all sisters pray with their heads covered. And we face the east towards Jerusalem. Abba Father, Yahweh, Elohim, the Allah of Abraham, Yashak, and Yaakov. Covenant Father, Elohim of Yahshua, we thank you, Yahweh, once again for your mercy, Yahweh, for your patience, for your chastening, for your gently pushing us in the way and showing us when we are heading the wrong direction. We thank you for all these things, for we know those are gentle things that you do. For we see just the level of your anger and your wrath when you're fed up. So we're thankful that you are dealing with us in such a compassionate manner, and we ask that we absorb that and treat our own brothers and sisters and the strangers in the same manner, the same type of patience and the same type of gentle treatment, Yahweh, to give them the best opportunity to turn the right direction. Yahweh, we also ask a special petition unto you. We ask that you put your hands around our assembly and all those that assemble with us from afar, and guide them in their lives, and help them safely reach the destinations that they try to reach to in their lives. For we know we have power with you, Yah. We know that when we request something, Yahweh, that you take us into consideration. And we ask that you comply to those requests, if it be not something that was going to harm us or cause you to lose any glory in some kind of manner. We ask that you prevent those things, for we trust you, and we know that you only want what's best for us, Yahweh. But we ask that special mercy, Yahweh, that you allow for us to make safe travel into the places that we want to go, Yahweh, in our heart. For we believe and we understand at this level we should know how to make the right decisions of where we want to go, Yahweh. We also ask that you have mercy on our sick and our elderly, those that suffer, those that are going through tribulation. We ask that if it be your will, Yahweh, you add some strength and some restoration into them, Yahweh, especially those that serve you and day in and day out and week in and week out. Keep you on their mind, Yahweh, and try to show you their obedience, Yahweh, to the best of their ability.
Praise Yah.
Yah, these things we humbly come before you. We make no demands, Yahweh. We make full supplication, Yahweh, with full belief. And we ask these things through the perfect one, your Son, Yahshua HaMashiach, in which all praise, majesty, might, and dominion resides here and forevermore through you, your majesty. In the name of Yahshua HaMashiach, we thank and pray. Amen.
Amen. Yeah, we sunk our teeth in that one. Praise God.